Packers-Vikings matchups, who has the advantage? Sunday's NFC North showdown between the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings at Lambeau Field promises to be an intense battle in one of the NFL's most heated rivalries. While the Packers have dominated their long-standing rivalry with the Chicago Bears, head coach Matt LaFleur has a perfect 10-0 record against Chicago. The Minnesota Vikings have proven to be a much tougher opponent. LaFleur holds a 6-4 record against the Vikings, with the teams splitting their matchups over the past 4 seasons. The Packers enter this early season clash with a 2-1 record, and they may get a significant boost if starting quarterback Jordan Love returns to the lineup. Meanwhile, the Vikings are off to a surprising 3-0 start with back-to-back wins against the San Francisco 49ers and Houston Texans. Let's dive into the key matchups that will likely decide this high-stakes divisional contest: Packers rush offense versus Vikings run defense. The Packers are coming off an impressive rushing performance, accumulating 188 yards on 37 carries. While much of that success was fueled by backup quarterback Malik Willis, who ran for 73 yards on 6 attempts. The Packers running backs Josh Jacobs and Emmanuel Wilson have formed a solid duo through the first 3 games. However, the Vikings boast a stout run defense, ranked 3rd in the league, allowing only 36 yards per carry and a mere 27 yards in their blowout win against the Texans. Vikings defensive tackle Harrison Phillips has been a force on the interior, while Jonathan Bullard has already tallied 4 tackles for loss. Linebacker Blake Cashman, who joined the team from the Texans, has been a standout as well, leading Minnesota with 23 tackles. Given the strength of the Vikings' run defense, the Packers will need to rely on persistence and hope that Josh Jacobs and Wilson can break through late in the game, much as they did against the Titans, where they were held to just 28 rushing yards in the first half, but exploded for 64 yards. In the second half, advantage push Packers pass offense versus Vikings pass defense. Malik Willis has exceeded expectations, stepping in for Jordan Love and leading the Packers to 2 crucial victories. His efficiency, ball security, and decision-making have been key, but if Love returns to the lineup this week, Green Bay's passing attack could take a leap forward. However, standing in their way is Brian Flores' opportunistic Vikings defense. Minnesota ranks 3rd in the NFL in defensive EPA per play and 6th in opponent passer rating. The Vikings also excel at pressuring the quarterback, ranking 5th in both sack percentage and interception percentage. Last year, Flores' defensive scheme stifled the Packers at Lambeau Field, holding Green Bay to just 10 points while sacking Love 4 times. However, Green Bay got their revenge later in the season, torching the Vikings on New Year's Eve. Minnesota's pass rush looks different this year after losing Danielle Hunter to free agency. Still, they've added key pieces, such as Jonathan Greenard, who already has 4 sacks this season, and Andrew Van Ginkel, who has 3. The Vikings also selected Dallas Turner in the first round of the draft, adding even more depth to their pass rush. The secondary is anchored by veteran safety Harrison Smith, who has 1 interception and leads the team in passes defensed. If Green Bay's offensive line can give Love or Willis time to throw, the Vikings cornerbacks Stephon Gilmore and Byron Murphy could be exploited by the Packers' receiving core. However, the key to success in this matchup will be Green Bay's ability to block Minnesota's intricate blitz schemes. Advantage Vikings Packers pass defense versus Vikings pass offense. The Packers' pass rush came alive last week, sacking Titans quarterback Will Levis 8 times and forcing 3 turnovers in a dominant defensive performance. This week, they face a resurgent Sam Darnold, who has thrown a league-leading 8 touchdown passes and completed 10 passes of 20 yards or more through the first 3 games. At the heart of Minnesota's offense is Justin Jefferson, arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL. Jefferson leads the league in receiving yards and has been the focal point of Minnesota's attack, including a 97-yard touchdown reception against the 49ers. Packers cornerback Jair Alexander will likely draw the assignment of covering Jefferson, and while Alexander has been excellent so far, containing Jefferson will be his toughest test yet. If Jefferson is limited, the Vikings will rely on former first-round pick Jordan Addison, who missed last week with an ankle injury but is expected to play. Addison would likely face Eric Stokes or Carrington Valentine, assuming Valentine is healthy. The Packers' secondary will need to step up to slow down Darnold's passing attack, but as always, the game will be won in the trenches. Minnesota's offensive line has been solid with tackles. Christian Darrisaw and Brian O'Neill, allowing only 2 sacks combined through 3 games. However, the interior of their line, particularly center Garrett Bradbury and right guard Ed Ingram, has struggled, giving up 20 of the team's 34 pressures. The Packers will look to exploit this weakness with Devontae Wyatt, who has 3 sacks this season, and Kenny Clark, who has a history of success against Bradbury. Advantage Packers, Vikings, run offense versus Packers run defense. Running back Aaron Jones is coming off a stellar start, with the Vikings rushing for 228 yards and leading the NFL in yards after contact per attempt. Jones, who spent several seasons with the Packers, will be looking to prove a point against his former team after being replaced by Josh Jacobs in free agency. The Packers' run defense had its best performance of the season last week, holding the Titans to just 33 rushing yards. However, stopping Jones will be a much tougher task, as he presents a dual threat in both the running and passing game. Quarterback Sam Darnold is also a more dynamic passer than the Titans. Will Levis, making it harder for Green Bay to key in on stopping the run. Advantage Vikings. In conclusion, this matchup between the Packers and Vikings could go either way, with both teams boasting strengths that could tilt the game in their favor. For Green Bay, the keys will be protecting their quarterback and slowing down Justin Jefferson, while Minnesota will need to control the line of scrimmage and rely on their aggressive defense to create pressure. This game could easily come down to the wire in one of the NFL's fiercest rivalries.